Hi, I'm Tim from the Heresy Group. Today I'm going to give you a comms for dummies video. Now I'm no expert when it comes to comms. I leave all of that stuff to Richie, but I have got a good few different setups here, and I can't emphasize enough how important communication is between your team, between your side, and just general communication between you and the people surrounding you can be at Airsoft and Milsim events. Milsim events especially, targets can be changed, grids can be updated, location of other players can be updated, and if you've got a good solid communication setup, then you know, that will really benefit you. So what we've got here is the Baofeng UV5R. Now I've been using this radio since I started Airsoft. This was my second ever purchase and it cost me about £20. The battery's great, it lasts all day, all weekend. I've never actually had an issue where I've run out of battery. When I'm not using it, or I'm back in the fob or getting any downtime, I always make sure that it's switched off. But you can buy the extended batteries for these and they will last you for a weekend, no problem, but they are very cheap. Now I know that these are hit with a little bit of controversy about needing a license for these radios. I know hundreds if not thousands of players that use these radios and have never had any issues with licensing, as long as they're used for their designated use at an airsoft site and they're not used to mess around or interfere with any other frequencies, then I don't see any problem as to owning one of these. So this is a Baofeng UV5R. I will link these in the description. You can get them on eBay. Any of the Baofeng models are around 5 watts and they're very good, sturdy radios. Now on the side here, you can see that they take a Kenwood style pin, and I'll quickly show you what it looks like on here. It's one of these. And what I'll talk through then is some of the comms setups that go with this radio and this pin type. All of them here that I have will fit this Baofeng radio, and I'll take you through some kind of simple setups over to some more advanced setups. So this is a fist mic setup. There's lots of these available, but this one was made for me by JCI Comms. He does all of my comms equipment. He's built me some very specific setups that I've asked for in the way of orientation and in the way of setup. So again, this will plug into your radio and then you will push this button on the side to talk. This will be your PTT button, and any communication that's coming from this will come out of this as a loudspeaker. Now you do have volume adjustment on the radio. You also have a very quick volume adjustment on here from high to low. So if you do need to make a very quick comms adjustment, or you just want to quiet this radio right down while you're talking, or if there's enemies nearby, you can do that by flipping it down to the bottom. Now there is some additional ports on this, as you can see, and they were done at my request. You can just get this with no additional ports, but this was done with a headphone socket here and an AUX import here. So with the headphone socket, it means that it will no longer display or play any sound from this device. It will, once this is plugged in, the sound will be cut off and it will come through this earpiece. Now this earpiece is a single-sided earpiece. You still need to talk into this region when held in the mic in, but it means that all comms will come through this earpiece. And there's a variety of different types that you can get, but this one I found works particularly well, especially if you're doing a lot of movement. This latches over the back of the ear and does hold quite firmly in place. Now the bottom port is an AUX in. That means that you can have a standard AUX cable and you can plug your mobile phone into that. That means that any calls, any communications or music that will be coming from your mobile device will come through here, and if you essentially answer the call on your phone, you can actually talk on your phone using this headset. You can listen to music, so on and so forth. I find that in areas, times of downtime, whatever, it's always nice to have an AUX in just to put some music on, or to make a very, an important call if needed. But yeah, it's just a nice feature to have, and something that I do enjoy having. So this is really quite a basic setup in regards of, it comes straight from the radio. The PTT is all integral. You literally need this and this radio and you're ready to go for your comms setup. Moving on from that, just placing that to one side, is a setup that you'll see is very popular with a lot of airsofters, and that is an over-ear headset. Now this is the headset from Earmore. I've had this for quite a while, and again, you know, dependent upon, you know, your play style and your setup, this may suit you. Now I've got an added headband on here just to make this a little bit more comfortable, but you can see that this has a mic. And the nice thing about this that the previous set didn't have is that, as you can see by these power buttons on the side, this has active noise cancelling. So that means that once this is turned on and this is placed over your ears, you do get a slight dimming of the ambient noise, and then you can adjust that with a plus and minus button that's on here. The nice thing about this headset is that if you have a loud bang go off around you, or you're in a room that is frag grenaded, it will cut out and kind of white noise when that bang goes off, and that will really protect your ears and your hearing. So, you know, anything with ear or noise protection built in is very good, and you'll see that in some of the other setups. This is an over-ear headset. You can see a lot of different makers of these on the market. You can pay anywhere from 30 to 300, 400 pounds depending on what brand you want to go for, but this does not come with a PTT on it. So what you end up is with a plug like this. It's referred to as a TP120, and then you do need a separate push to talk button. I've got one of those here. You can see this is the Earmore PTT. Plug this in the top like so, and you're ready to go. When you want to talk, you hold that button in and you can talk, and you talk into the microphone on the headset, and this is going to be a required part for you to go down to your radio. So you will need the headset, the PTT, and then this will wire down to, again, that Kenwood plug that will fit the radio. So this is an over-ear setup. This does have a few more features, as I said before, like active noise cancelling, and then you've got that ambient noise capability on here as well. So this is a traditional over-ear setup. So just putting that to one side, and then talk about this. This is my personal build that was built for me by JCI Comms, and this is kind of one of the more complicated builds, but this is on a Nexus U94 PTT. So these are very popular, this shape. This is a legit Nexus build. They have a very nice button press, very firm, and as you can see, a nice sound from that. Another thing that I asked JCI when he built this for me to put on, again, was an AUX in port. So this means I can plug my phone into it, and that sort of thing, MP3 players, so on and so forth. Now this will go directly to the radio, and in the top here, see that this is a 5-pin Lemo plug, and that takes me to this piece of kit here. This is a set of in-ear raycals. Now the raycals were deployed to a few different militaries all over the world throughout from 2005 to 2015. They kind of got faded out a little bit, guys didn't get on with them, and also you have to put these special caps on the end of these earpieces that frequently got lost, and if guys had gel molds made, they were very expensive, and you know, if they were to get lost, it was something that was quite difficult to do out in the field. So these were phased out, but these are sound cancelling in-ear units, and they have a microphone actually built in the back of the devices. So what you have is this plug will plug into your PTT. I'm just going to plug this in like so, and then it goes to this box here. Now this box is the thing that does all of the work. This will take a AAA battery. I don't know if I've got one in here. This is my spare set of raycals. My other set is all, you know, pieced in on my plate carrier. We don't have a battery in there, but you can see there's a O-ring on there for a waterproof seal. But this is where all the work happens. So this, once turned on, will actively cancel any loud noises. It will also allow you to communicate without a separate microphone. So once these are placed in your ears, you can then hold down the PTT and talk. Now for me, these are very comfortable. You can also pick these raycal units up for around £10, and the main thing that you have to then pay for is getting this built. I highly recommend JCI Comms for creating these PTTs for you. He can do it in a variety of different styles, but this particular style is called the THG PTT, and that will include the AUX in as well for your phone. You can request not to have that if you choose not to have it, but I recommend that if you're going to get one of these built, I would have it just for those times where, you know, you're sat around or you're waiting for things to happen, you're on stag, you're getting a bit of downtime. It is just handy to be able to plug your phone in. So this is one of the more complex setups. They are a little bit more difficult to wire, as you can see in front of you. It's a lot to put on over some of the other setups that are available, but this will again work with, you know, a Baofeng radio. So this would be another setup. Rather than the over-ears, this is delivering all of the same features, but this is an in-ear setup, so it's much less bulky. So moving on to the final setup here is this Silence setup that I recently purchased. This is the Silence Claris Pro. This is a shooter's headset, so it's designed to be worn whilst shooting. Silence do a variety of military grade products, although their Silence military products are extremely expensive. I was quoted about £1,200 for the setup that I wanted. I managed to pick this up invariably cheap for 250 quid, and this offers a lot of the features of the Raycal setup with a much smaller profile. So I just want to show you, this is just the box from the Raycals in comparison to the Silence setup. It's a much smaller signature, and the other nice feature with the Silence is that you do not need a separate PTT. There is one included here. You can run one in line from this device to the radio if you wanted a much larger PTT, but I'm going to use this. This is going to be my headset whilst doing surveillance and recon, and so, you know, this button will be accessible enough. Another nice feature around this is that this offers ambient noise reduction and enhancement, and it will also give you protection from loud bangs and loud noises, which is essentially what the Raycal offers, but this is a much more compact package. Now, the cable that was sent with this is an iPhone or smartphone adapter, and on both ends you have a 3.5mm 4-post jack, and this will work with your iPhone for Siri and all those sorts of other devices. You know, you can essentially hold that button and use voice commands for all of those devices. But I'm waiting at the moment from Silence to send me the 4-post 3.5mm over to the Kenwood jack. So I'm just waiting for that to arrive. I was hoping that it would be here by now, but sadly it's not. So this is a more expensive alternative, although it is much more compact. What I would highly recommend is, if you are looking for a cheaper alternative for in-ear, you know, sound cancelling, ear protection, I highly recommend the Raycal setups. I've been using mine for a long period of time now, and the fact that JCI Comms provides everything you need to get you rolling, bar a radio, I highly recommend using his products. I've been running his headset PTTs now for, you know, over a year nearly, and they've been very good quality and held up to the test of you know, bad weather conditions, very cold temperatures, you know, difficult comms areas. The equipment's worked incredibly well. So that is 4 different setups that I recommend. They're 4 different setups. They're easily accessible. If you are interested in the over-ears, the ear maul setup, you can purchase that from Camo Raids. If you're interested in the fist mic and earpiece setup, you can get that from JCI Comms. Also, if you're interested in the full Raycal setup with the U94 THG PTTT, then you can get that set up again from JCI Comms. If you're after some Silence goodies, they are available globally, but the price tag is quite extortionate, and also, you know, unless you're using it in kind of surveillance or recon areas, that PTT might be a little bit difficult to get to if you're going to try and use this for kind of your airsofting headset. So guys, hopefully that's given you a little bit of information about a variety of different headsets and the different types of communication setups that you can run. If you do have any questions on this, please feel free to put comments in the box below. If they are more advanced comms questions, please feel free to hit Richie up. You can get him on Instagram at Richie_the Heresy Group, and you can also request that he publishes some content around specific comms questions, and we'll get a video up on YouTube as soon as possible. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out some more videos from us, you can do it at theherесygroup.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.